God bless you guys. This is Sean here from Faith Brings Change. I just want to come on here for a second and talk to you guys about some stuff. I had a series of a lot of visions, and I can't really go into them all because there was too much time and I haven't fleshed them all out. But just very basically, I just want to cover this whole this false praise, because we know in the Bible it talks about praising idols, giving praise to things that are not of God. One particular vision I saw is just a quick vision, guys, and it's interconnecting on other ones. Is this yellow bird that I'd seen before on a person's channel. This girl named this bird Bowie. And, cute little parrot, talking parrot or something like that, I believe. But Bowie, talking bird, swallowed up the earth. And then I saw from that bird, it went demonic. And the next vision I had seen is this drawing I did of some kind of bird-like creature with wings. And it was like, it was evil looking. I was doing concepts for my deity movie, like the deity of Christ, and showing demons and angels, and basically how they were. My first movie is kind of the Nephilim thing, like how they're mixing with. I'm gonna get to do that in heaven. I just don't think I'm gonna get to it on the earth because of this whole Elijah thing. But yeah, I saw it swallow up the earth, and the praise turned dark, and it was really an evil bird. It was something much worse than just that yellow bird that I'd seen. And God told me to research David Bowie, because I had wanted to know what has pulled people into this digital age, what has really sucked people into this, that they're so into this stuff so much. And I've been praying to God, help me to get people out of this, give me some wisdom. And he showed me this. And David Bowie, to summarize the documentary of what I learned, is he would always reinvent himself. He was always trying new things. He's a come on, try a little kind of spirit, telling you just. He was constantly taught people to just be unique. They call it be unique. And his strange look, which attracted others. And that's the whole spirit that inspired Doctor Strange. Because Stan Lee was an atheist. And a lot of these Marvel characters in these movies inspire you to just be different. And for that, that's that whole Alice spirit. Try all these drugs, this sex, this rock and roll. Just keep trying all kinds of the world. And birds are worshipers. And so a false praise swallowed up the earth, and this whole spirit of David Bowie, so many stars wanted to be like him. And so I was wondering, for this Matrix thing, God showed me what created this Thomas A. Anderson character, which would be Neo, for neo-paganism. It was this ground control to Major Tom song that he did. And it's based on a concept God showed me in the Bible of doubting Thomas, He needed to see Yeshua's wounds, and he said, I will not believe unless I see. And but the ground control to Major Tom, David Bowie was inspired by certain things, but he was being moved by a spirit of doubt. A spirit of doubt gets you to question, who are you? And so doubting Thomas, and that's where you get Thomas A. Anderson. And because in the new Matrix trailer, they're playing that whole feed your head kind of thing. Well, that comes from the David Bowie era of, he was constantly trying new things, and it gave birth to this whole 60s era. And this, and all the stuff people, turn into lots of drugs and sex. And David Bowie encouraged that. He sort of pushed that spirit of rebellion. He actually said he wanted to get into musician. He wanted to become a musician because he, wanted to be seclusive and rebellious. It represented his rebellion. So the spirit of David Bowie is the spirit of rebellion that entered in these kids. And so this Matrix, David Bowie got with this girl named Angie. And keep in mind this name Angie, because there was a girl in the Resident Evil 2 movie called Angie. And her image, the body of her, is used to make the Red Queen, this digital image that is going killing people to protect a virus from getting out, basically. This Angie, he showed me, is based on that Angie of David Bowie's, one of his wives. She encouraged him first. She encouraged him, I told you the spirit of Alice, like, be loose, let's all be loose and everything. I think that started with her on a great deal. We've seen sin go, but he's showing me a big player in this, you know. And she encouraged him to just, you know, she took Artie, him not knowing who he was, basically asking questions. He started out like Doubting Thomas. And then she's like, well, just become one with that self. You know, tap into your other self. Encouraged him to start cross-dressing. And when he started cross-dressing, he got a spirit of homosexuality. And he decided he was gay. And he announced to the public that he was gay. And so, the writers of The Matrix, they were following that spirit. They started to cross-dress, and later they changed their sex. They were following the Bowie spirit of rebellion. That's why he created music. And so this style to be different, he encouraged a lot of genres in rock. He really created alternative rock. He was a father of that rock and roll and that real rebellious spirit that the world has right now. It started with a big player, David Bowie. And God showed me some things also about Back to the Future, about how it shows, you know, if you watch the first movie, Marty is very prideful, very prideful. And he's taken science, he goes back in time, and he's almost like prideful about, oh, you have this new science, you don't have to put up with this bully, this Biff guy like in the movie, you don't have to put up with this stuff. And he beats him up. And everybody's like, who is that guy? You know, who is that guy? And he's the guy everybody wants to be like. That one teaches them to rebel. And so you get a nice 20s and 30s. They're going further and further. And one of the first ones they played, you know, you could see emulation. This girl basically, in the time he travels back to, she's singing, who's that dog in the window? And the dog image is the image of the devil. They're trying to give Satan their rebellious image. Satan started out in a very subtle way with her. She was kind of the spirit back then that emulated this. This is all going to go into where the Matrix goes, and I'll explain this, guys. And, you know, trying to get, teaching people to be a little looser, a little looser, a little looser as they go on until they go into this full-fledged rebellion. There was this manager, I'm going to cut some corners so I can just kind of connect this Alice spirit, that cross-dressing spirit, David Bowie's wife, which got him to start cross-dressing and becoming gay. Well, it rubbed off on his children, spiritually speaking. Lana, or whatever, Wachowski brothers, they changed themselves into women. They made the Matrix. They say, take this pill and do this great drug trip, you know. And the pill is eating of the fruit of the tree of knowledge of good and evil, you know, pill pop, and it's going to make you better. They felt like David Bowie, like he would get made fun of, you know, and they felt different. And they made this whole Matrix thing, you know, we'll pull you into this, you know, this digital lie. And he showed me that David Bowie's manager, Tony, was prideful. And there was... This is going to go into Tony Stark Iron Man. Because remember, this whole spirit of pride, you see that spirit of pride in Tony Stark? It started with this David Bowie area, God showed me. And he was involved in doing some kind of cover-up with money or whatever, and different things, Tony's manager. And so Stan Lee, he wrote this Tony character, and Tony said of the company that he was in, as he had become a part of a system that was... you know, a part of zero accountability. And this is this whole war machine era, because what the kids back then, they saw in that era in the 60s and before that in David Bowie, they saw there were all these wars, these people fighting. They were fighting over wars and doing all this stuff. And they felt unsafe, and they said, we cannot trust the leadership to do this. Look at these people. And remember, Marty McFly, they teach you to question the rebellion, to rebel against parents, you know. They teach you to question things. The man of the question mark, the spirit of Riddler. They teach you to question things. And they were seeing all this stuff and feeling insecure about war. And so God showed me that Satan put an idea into the young minds of that time. And they said, we need to be the inventors and pioneers of this technology now. If we reinvent this technology, we can control it. It'll be the Robin Hood mentality. You're robbing to from the rich given to the poor. You're taking something from a very select few of elite, this whole war machine thing. You're giving it to many, and we're going to give the technology they had to do their wars. We're going to give their technology, the Iron Age and all that. We're going to give it to the masses, and it'll be easier. And Satan was controlling this. He wanted the masses to get their hands on technology and different things. And they created computers. And because Satan wanted to do this whole World Wide Web, spread the knowledge of the tree of good and evil. And we learned about how all the wars are, and he got into media because he wanted to spread the bad knowledge of how evil things were. This is why you see the media reporting the news all bad, all the time. At the same time, this David Bowie era, which it came from, he was talking about how he believed he was like connected to extraterrestrials. And one of the band members said he was Jesus, thought he was. This guy Vince or whatever, he got out of the band. But extraterrestrials. And so there were Satan was slowly doing this because this is related to the end age, guys. And like in the process of time, when they got us into technology and stuff, they started talking about, you started seeing cyber wars. So now the threat's not it's not like war, like physical war, it's cyber threats. People started also, he put in their mind to dream up, what if we could give life to our technology? What if it could serve us? What if we could build something that technology could be alive? And that's the idea of AI. You know, it's idolatry, you know. And they worship technology. They said technology is going to save us from all this. And then you started seeing like, what do you call it? They were saying extraterrestrials and everything. You started talking about more UFO sightings. And they were saying they gave us this technology. They gave us all this. They did all this, which is true in a way because Satan did it. He started leaking out secrets. He gave people ideas to create some of this technology because he wants worship for it eventually. And so now he's trying to pull people back into this to give glory. He's preparing them. He's got them in their movies and things, started to put more alien ideas, which started from the David Bowie era largely. You know, he believed he was an extraterrestrial. He sort of popularized New Age concepts into the mainstream, you know, because he could attract, you know, people. He was always, you know, he was always dressing up, you know. It pulled people into this whole thing, this New Age, and he spread it all over the entire earth. Satan did through the Bowie era. And Bowie like a hunting knife. And Satan is hunting for people. You know, and that's where he got the idea for the name Bowie. And, you know, so Satan is trying to pull us into this. He's trying to get us to look to the stars now because he's going to create this whole alien deception that aliens created us. And David Bowie didn't know who he was, and also his brother killed himself. And later, David Bowie made a video about it. And I saw this mime person in my dream, like last year. I didn't know who it was, but I looked at it, I found out it was David Bowie, and I'd never seen that before. But in the documentary just today, I saw it, and that was him, and God was showing me it dated back to that spirit. You know, there's been mimes and things going before, but that spirit of sadness, guys. And the dark night I saw that brought it, you know, the darkness of Batman in the dream spread his it represented darkness itself and a spirit of drunkenness. You know, you can't see, like when you're drunken and you stumble, it's like a person stumbling in the dark. But he brought this sad spirit because darkness brought depression in the earth. And from that depression in the dream, I saw that mime turn into the clown. And it was like, I'm going to color up this world because it's so depressed. But it was evil. It was an evil, it was a spirit of rebellion and evil. And that it is a spirit of hate trying to destroy people. And I believe even before The Dark Knight, it started out with Child's Play, that Chucky, and Child's Play, just childish things that you shouldn't be playing with. You know, they're toying with ideas of evil. Just a little. I mean, it always starts out nice, and then it gets more sinister. But Satan wanted to create war, basically, summary, and then he wanted to have kids also. Kids were being bullied in school, like Marty McFly and everything. There were kids being bullied. His dad was bullied. And so they were showing how you solve your problems as you rebel. The parents basically put the kids in front of the TV, let them watch ideas of rebellion. They were getting hurt at school. And then this idea of rebellion, we're going to rise up against these people who hurt us. And we're going to create a revolution, basically. And so Satan got people so angry and offended and cold at what happened to them, they rose up and rebelled. And that's why you got this area of rebellion. And so this is where we are today, guys. And this is why people are doing these evil things. They get hurt in their life, and then they start doing evil to others, and they rebel, and then they become rebellious to the way they don't want to hear any authority, even God. And so the church has this spirit of rebellion. He showed me, by large, they need to get free of. This was released into the world of darkness from this Bowie era, you know. And just try whatever you want. Just go with whatever you want. You know, this whole Alice spirit. And I like that Angie that became the Red Queen, you know. Angie based on David Bowie's wife, you know. Concept from her, you know, to just live loose, you know. Dress like a woman. Change who you are is what she represented. Change who you are. And that's what happened to Eve in the garden. She, you know, wanted to be, try to change herself by eating of that fruit. And I saw the woman Evie. He showed me certain things. This character Evie from V, and trying to put vengeance on her name and different things, and how Satan is took the world into this whole digital age. And the red pill is like the knowledge of good and evil in a different form. And the Matrix is that false garden that they brought them into. And really, in they've been into this garden, this matrix, or whatever false world you want to call it, ever since they went into sin. But them going on the Nebuchadnezzar is like even a deeper lie. That's into the world government. So, you know, it's just very strange the way things are going. And I sort of want to dissect to see where this is coming from, guys, because I want to help people. I have a very inquisitive spirit, you know, I like to ask questions, and because we don't know, you know, Satan has so many different devices. He comes as an angel of light. He showed me that follow the white rabbit spirit. That's that whole concept of the TV, that white basically is that light of Lucifer. He comes as an angel of light, you know, because white itself represents the good, you know, and black the evil. I'm just talking about black and white. I'm not talking about like races or anything. And so he created black and white television and made it in black and white, representing good and evil. And he wanted to mix that, and then he finally brought color in, you know, as representing the nations. He brought the nations into this whole good and evil thing. He wanted to teach them good and evil through the TV. The tree of life is a knowledge of good, but the other tree, it's a knowledge of both, basically. But, you know, he brought everybody into that. That's where we see everything the way it is today. There's so much I could say to you guys, but I'm just overwhelmed. I'm still trying to research all this, get my head around all this, because there's so many ins and outs of it. But this whole black and white concept, I can't remember where I was going with that, guys, but just mixing basically good and evil together, you know, and trying to just play people two sides against each other. But yeah, it started with the Bowie era, God showed me. So you guys might want to research that. This is where we're going today. So when you're trying to fight rebellion, guys, Christians out there, you're fighting that spirit of rebellion started with David Bowie. And the whole Marty McFly era, and science is going to save us. And we're smart because we have science that makes us puffed up, and that's what Marty McFly represents. And he's very prideful, you know. And, but I am going to let you go. If I get any more ideas or any concepts, I'll let you guys know. But I just got to flesh things out more, guys. But I am praying for you all. Please take care of yourself. Stay in holiness. Don't follow that spirit of rebellion, guys. I love you guys. Till next time, shalom.